Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'll be talking about why Yoel Romero lost to Robert Whittaker via decision. So let's get into it. So in the first round, Yoel Romero really didn't do much. He was in a defensive posture trying to fill out what Robert Whittaker was doing. Maybe he was trying to preserve some cardio because he had a bad weight cut. And he's not known for being a cardio machine. He definitely has a short gas tank, very explosive, but not the most cardio. So maybe he was trying to preserve his cardio a little bit, given those factors. He didn't do much that round, filled out Robert Whittaker, do a very few strikes. So clear round for Robert Whittaker. Second round, a little more of the same, but Yoel Romero became a little bit more offensive. But still, Robert Whittaker won the round cleanly. But Romero landed much more strikes than he did in the first round, but still was clearly outstruck by Robert Whittaker in that round. So 2 rounds to zip right there for Whittaker. Then the third round started much like the first and second did. Then towards that midway point, Yoel Romero saw an opening, caught him, dropped Whittaker, followed up with some good ground and pound, landed some heavy shots. I think he actually doubled Whittaker in significant strikes this round. So a clear round for Romero. But here's the where it gets interestingly. Oh, he got doubled him in strikes, dropped him, got 2 takedowns. So a pretty successful round. Could have finished him potentially. Definitely did a lot of damage, but let's say why it gets interesting here. Because this is not boxing or kickboxing, and knockdowns aren't scored. They're like more subjective than objective, because say like boxing or kickboxing, you get dropped, that's an automatic point deduction. Or like say it was a 10-9 round, you get a drop, that's a 10-8 round. In MMA, it's not that way. Somebody get dropped, sometimes it will be scored 10-8, sometimes it won't. It's really scored based, you only get a 10-8 if you really come close to finishing people, and even then sometimes they don't score at 10-8. So it's like there's no guarantee. 10-8 rounds are no guarantee. Where if they were a guarantee, that could easily have shifted the course of this fight and the judging, but just by how MMA is judged, it doesn't really work that way. And you could say, why don't they make it that every round, every drop is called 10-8 or judged as 10-8? You look at it, most of the fights are 3 rounds, so if you get a drop in a 3-round fight, it basically will end in a lot of fights being draws, because it's only 3 rounds. You could drop somebody and not really be that effective. Then that person dominates you for the next 2 rounds, and it just be a tie. What's called a tie, because it's only 3 rounds. You at 10-8 is basically like winning 2 rounds. Then it's only a 3-round fight, so it just makes things messy. But you could argue that Romero had a 10-8 round in that fight. You drop somebody significantly in that fight, not even a little flash knockdown, big significant drop, land a lot of ground and pound, outstrike them with 2-1 in that round. Like I said, get 2 takedowns plus the drop. That's really warrants a 10-8 in my opinion. It wasn't like he just flash dropped him, then What's-Name just got up and went back to business. He dropped him, landed some hard strikes, had Whittaker running, had Whittaker wobbled, had Whittaker hitting the panic button. Could have been a 10-8, but it's subjective, not objective. Then the 4th round, pretty much the same as the first 2 rounds, and most of the, like half the third, Romero went back to his stance. A lot of blocking, a lot of filling Whittaker out, a lot of just waiting for Whittaker to make a mistake. Another clear round for Whittaker. Romero didn't do too much. He did rock at one point in this fight, but it wasn't a drop. So he still lost around 10-9. So basically at this point, you got 3 rounds to Whittaker. The only way Romero could win is via a finish, or maybe a 10-8 round, or if the 3rd round was scored to 10-8. Then in the 5th round, Romero dominates again. He catches Whittaker on a mistake, drop him. In this round, I think it really could have been scored to 10-8. Whether it's like he close to a finish or Whittaker was handling himself well, he still got dropped and was in like a very defensive posture for a large portion of that fight, just trying to survive. So the clearly knockout was more than just a flash drop, and it was Whittaker really just holding on for dear life for a good portion of that round, just trying to survive. So that knocking down was more than just a flash knockdown. So that could have been scored to 10-8 there. Though he did recover, it's not like Romero finished him. He still was in a defensive posture for a long period of time. Still was outstruck. Total strikes in that round, he was outstruck like 3-1, 4-1, something crazy like that. Whereas significant strikes, it was only a little bit less than like 2 strikes off being 2-1. So a dominant round, got a takedown. And even you see some people just lay on somebody a whole round and get 10-8. So you drop somebody, you outstriking them like 2-1, and strikes that actually finishing level strikes. That could be a 10-8, but it all played out. As far as the strategy, I think Romero's strategy kind of played against him a little bit, but it was still smart. But in the 5-round fight, given all these other factors, it just didn't work out and led Whittaker to win, plus him missing weight. And maybe the UFC, I don't know if the UFC controls it, has their hands in the commission that much, but it just seems like just because Romero missed weight, it seemed like the judges were kind of on Whittaker's side there already, that they were just going to try to, Romero clearly did everything he could to get 10-8s or a finish, they were going to give it to Whittaker, or at least win the rounds, because his style certainly didn't factor into a win every single round. It was kind of he was looking for a finish more so than exactly just trying to win the fight. I mean, based off points. Because you're just letting somebody land all the strikes. You're not really anticipating trying to outpoint somebody. You're letting them get all those points. If you're looking for that big shot, you're looking for that finish. He almost got it a couple times, but he wasn't able to get it. And as far as the finishing strikes that he could have possibly got, a lot of people get fights stopped for much less. It's that I think they play the game a little bit more. Like they hit people on the fist and hit people on all these shots. It's not hurting the opponent, but it looks bad, and then the ref stops in. But I think Romero was kind of too picky on his shots and stuff, trying to land clean shots and not worried about just making it look like a finish. He could even did some arm punches. People get stopped fights for arm punches. They look at the ref, be punching somebody in the arm, be doing minimum power on their shots, like what Steve A did against Mark Hunt and what's his name, another fighter did against Uriah Faber. So people play the game a lot. I think Romero didn't really play the game. He was looking for a real finish. That kind of played against him as well. But good fight. It definitely could have been a draw. It definitely could have went Yoel Romero way. I know a lot of people saying all he did was win 2 rounds. But he got 2 big rounds, where Whittaker's rounds weren't really that significant. People say Romero had more face damage, but if you look at who really got damaged the most, like physically, who got hurt the most, it was Whittaker. He got rocked and was close to finish several times, whereas Romero was never looking like he was anywhere near being finished. But Whittaker put on good performance. Romero put on a good performance. Good fight. But like I said, the point system as far as knockdowns and stuff is too subjective. Even how they give out 10-8 rounds is too subjective. Like sometimes people, they give 10-8s for things that don't deserve 10-8. Sometimes they do, because it's not one thing like if you do this, you'll get a 10-8 regardless. Like I say in boxing, you drop somebody, unless it's from a push or a trip. If you land a clean punch and their gloves touch the ground or their butt touch the ground or they fall on their back, whatever, that's a 10-8. There's no ifs and or buts about it. But in MMA, it's so many ifs and buts about the scoring that sometimes it just doesn't play out. But I think it was a good fight, like I said, and that's about all. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and come back for more videos. Peace.